Welcome to my channel to everyone who's new here and of course to those of you who are back again, great to have you here. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of XRP, Dogecoin, Solana and Cardano. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to trade as cheap as me, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc, which has a similar trading volume to Bitget, Bybit and OKX. But as you can see, the taker fees are much more lower than on the other top crypto exchanges. And with my referral link, which you can find in the video description, you save another 20% on those low taker fees. And also 100 pairs are tradable without any fees just on mexc, and here you see a huge list of popular altcoins. So let's get to XRP. So what did we say? We said if we break the $2.26 to the downside, then we can meet the red trend line at $2.22. It wasn't tradable because this sell-off was far too fast. We should have seen a 1 hour candle close lower than that with a nice retest, and I personally jump into the retest because there I think the chances are the highest to get a profitable trade. For sure in this case the candle close would have worked perfectly, but also as you can see here were fair value gaps, so I even expected that we come up and break to the downside later. Didn't happen, so we still met the target. I can take this one out. So what happened afterwards is we broke the red trend line as well to the downside, and here I saw a retest and I jumped into a short trade into that retest, put my stop loss over here into that fair value gap, and I ride the wave to the downside. First target was this circle round about $2.19, and the other target was the $2.14. It was a profitable trade, but since we sold off that fast, I would even say we can get a little bit higher to get the fair value gap closed and maybe get a second retest on that red trend line and afterwards sell off again. So if I want to open a swing short position, then I would use this fair value gap, which is between $2.21 and 50. I would just put you some price marks here. So in that area, it's going to get very interesting between $2.23 to $2.21. If we get resistance there and get rejected, then I think we can even drop. And if this was just the first move, this sell-off today, if this was the first move to the downside, here's the correction to the down move, then I think the next push to the downside can even meet the $1.98 with a stop at $2.04, where we also have support. There I think we can expect a good bounce to the upside as well. So this is my plan for XRP. I don't see anything bullish for XRP. I would say if we break the $2.26 to the upside, which was our X short line for the rectangle, then it would be positive and we can even get higher prices. $2.30 would be the first target. The next target would be the $2.36 for XRP. So Dogecoin. Dogecoin also showed the first sign of bearishness. We broke the rectangle to the downside and we almost hit the target, so I can even take this one out. Here was the target, breakout point, close to it, so I can take this one out. It wasn't tradable for me. But also here, I'm also in a short position. I opened it because we have here the nice retest. In the end of the day, I think we got the candle close lower than the red trend line. We showed weakness. We got two big red candles. Now we are getting some green ones, but slow. And I think over the time we are going to break to the downside and meet the 16.1 cents again for Dogecoin. I would even say if we break the 17.45 cents to the upside, It might be positive, yes, but we also have some fair value gaps over us, up to 17.8 cents, and also here another resistance. So my stop loss is over that resistance, over 18.26 cents, because I think once we break this to the upside, then we can expect a nice push. Probably the last one before we get into a huge correction, if we didn't get into the huge correction already. Yeah, maybe it's just the beginning of a huge downtrend. We have to track that. For now, it's still uncertain. But I think the risk to reward ratio is currently good for a short position for Dogecoin. So what about Solana? Oh, Solana took the whole fair value gap. So basically what I have done is, we have said before we need to break the 149 US dollar to the upside sustainable, and then we can go into the area 153 US dollar. Instead we broke to the downside, so this rectangle here, we can take the spread of it, put it to our breakout point, we got into that area, I can take this one out. But since this push to the downside was heavy and was already connected with breakout candles, the target which I think Solana is going to go is the 136.48 US dollar. I went into a short trade here with the retest. We broke to the upside, got a retest as support, and are going a bit higher. But I think that's not a big deal because I have already calculated we had here a huge fair value gap. And this fair value gap got closed now. So I even increased my position size with a stop loss round about 151 US dollar. And if we break to the downside, then it would be positive for my short trade. $136 is going to get my first take profit. And if we break to the downside even more, then we can even think about prices getting down to 110 US dollar. But it's not going to happen in one go, in my opinion, even though that crashes can happen, even huge crashes. Let's see if we find one. Yeah, let's just take this crash here. We are on the 1 hour chart, so let's see how long it lasts. This was 8 hours, round about that. So if we look into that, it's a 20% push to the downside. And this is just a small fractal. We can still go up even more, and then you can see how long the downtrend lasts. And so far, it is possible that we do this push to the downside, not in one go, but over the time. It's also 20% to 26%. I have showed you that Solana already made those 20% drops within a very dollar time frame. So it can also happen for Solana again, and I think the chances are high that we at least meet the area 136 US dollar. I would be positive and long for Solana if we break the 149 US dollar to the upside. Then I think we can still meet the area 153. And if we also break the 153 to the upside, then 157 is going to get interesting for Solana. So, the last coin, Cardano. It's short. For me it's short, even though we have this fair value gap over us. I think we can even wick into that, but after that we should sell off. That's my game plan for Cardano at the moment. Yeah, we had here 3 support trend lines. I need to take out this price tag so we can see that. So basically here we got support. Yeah, we didn't break it to the downside at this time. Or let's start with the rising wedge. Yeah, we have tracked here rising wedge on the 50 minutes chart. Plan was here that we meet the target of that rising wedge and we should bounce there and break to the upside. This was the plan. So I didn't short the way down from the rising wedge. So I can take the target here out as well because we hit it. So what happened afterwards is we didn't got the breakout to the upside. We needed to get a nice push to the upside where we take out at least those tops. and I preferred the 73.44 cents breaking to the upside, then it would be very positive. Instead, we broke to the downside, the 69 cents. And this is here a support trend line, which we wanted to use as short entry, but this push to the downside didn't happen slowly. So we didn't get the retest. We even got a fair value gap over us, because I want to jump into a trade once we get the retest. And after that, short and riding the wave down. Instead, we have also said, okay, this red trend line, if that also breaks through the downside, then we can meet the 66.56 cents. We even got support here, so this trend line was valid as well. We broke to the downside, but in one go, straight down. It was not tradable for me. Cardano wasn't tradable at all, and it makes me kind of angry and sad simultaneously, but happens. Now, what I think is, those 3 trend lines were, for me, my short entries for a longer time period. So I wanted to see a slow breakout with a small retest. So we wait then a day until we meet this red trend line. Then we meet the other trend line. And this whole process should take, I think, in my view, 1 to 2 days. We got it within 2 hours. So this push to the downside was very fast. This retest here already worked. But like I said, we got here a fair value gap. Now we are here in the retest. So basically, for me, Cardano is short. And I think we are going to get a far higher push to the downside. I think this move here was just the first move. Now we are getting the correction to the downtrend. And from here, sell off at least to 64 cents to 65 cents. This is my take profit area for Cardano. I would take this one out as well, and this one too. So my stop loss for Cardano is here at round about 71 cents, a bit higher than that. So I hope that I gave you some valuable information, and see you in the next video.